All right, guys, here we go. We're working on a Black History project for my daughter's elementary school. It wasn't mandatory that she do a Black History project. And with that being said, I would recommend to the mothers and fathers out there, pay attention to what your child is learning at these institutions. Until we can get our own institution, I highly recommend you educate your children the best you know how with what you know and pass it down, because it's not being taught at the schools. They're being conditioned and they being taught to become honorary Europeans. Anyway, with that being said, this is my daughter's kindergarten project, and I have a standing here. Ziona, what's the original name of Africa?
Alkebulan.
Correct, Alkebulan. And other names were Ethiopia and Kush. Do you know the original name of Egypt?
Yes.
What is it?
Kemet.
Correct. And we have a map down here to show. Many of you hear the Bible talk about the land of Kush, but right above Kush, you see Kemet, that people now know as Egypt. May you point to King Tut? Correct. Do you know what photo that is above King Tut? Who is that?
Queen Tia.
Who is Queen Tia? Oh yeah, that's her right there, but do you know who she is? So, who is Queen Tia? Yeah, but who is she?
She's...
You forgot. She's the grandmother. It's right here on your board. She's the grandmother of who?
King Tut.
Correct. May you show me Nefertiti? All right, cool. Can you point to the Kemet cross?
Kemet.
Correct. So this is the Kemet cross. It's called an Ankh. So basically, the Ankh is a symbol of life or breath of life. A lot of people like to think that this is, I guess, like a cult symbol or whatnot, but no, this is ancient. And it have to be taught, because if we don't teach our history, and they'll create a narrative for us. When I say they, meaning the colonizer. So, anyway, you guys can pause it and read it if you would like. And also, pause it and read it if you would like. And that's the bust of Tia. It's in the Colonizer Museum. And then a lot of the ancient art and beautiful art and history is also in the British Museum as well, you know, that the colonizers stole and don't want to return. All right, so this is our project. We'll turn it in. And young lady, you got some practicing to do. What's going on, guys? Yeah, man, still Black History Month, man. Yeah, wrapped up a Black History project with my daughter, man, in elementary school. But look, peep game though, man. The project we were doing, man, the teacher sent us a letter home letting us know that basically it's not mandatory that we do a Black History project. So, you know, at one point in time, you know, we were going to school, you know, especially in the Black community or down south, you know, you do a Black History project, you know, and learn about the greats that contributed to this country to make it, you know, the country that it is. You know what I mean? I mean, everything that people enjoy about America, man. I mean, you cannot overlook the contributions of Black folk. Some say African American, Moorish, Hebrew, original Hebrew, Jamaican, Haitians. You know what I mean? Black folks. You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, man, my daughter is going to school with a one-of-a-kind project for the simple fact that if life started in Africa, then this is what we're going to do our Black History Project on, Africa, all right? Africa, to me, should be world history. If you found the first human being in Africa, and it happened to be a black person, then that should be world history, man. That should be taught all over the world about where the original man come from. And even though we say Africa, that's not the original name. The original name is Alkebulan. You know what I mean? Alkebulan. And Alkebulan meaning, you know, the Garden of Eden, the place of the first human. You know what I mean? Go behind me, man. Alkebulan. Alkebulan. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people don't know that. And so the reason I'm making this video is to tell people that, look, man, it's not to be anti-white or anti-Asian, but we got to get back to learning and keeping our culture. We can't just be going to school becoming honorary Europeans, all right? Many of you should join the Black Achievement Fund, man. I mean, a lot of like-minded people over with the Black Achievement Fund. Become a member. But back to the point, man, we have to get back focused, man. We can't be ashamed of like the names, you know what I mean? The African names, man. We've been, you know, programmed for so long on thinking the European way is the right way. This is what sexy is. This is what handsome is. This is what intelligent and smart is. And all of it is like from like European perspective, and it's just been, you know, like I say, it's just been nailed into our culture, man. I mean, from all of the makeup and, you know, the way we do things. You know, we even say this in the black community, who put on my interview voice, where you're supposed to talk professional. You know, this, that, and the third. And it's like, listen, if you got an African accent, if you got a Haitian accent, Jamaican accent, and that's the way you talk, then that's the way it should be. But like I say, man, this indoctrination, man, this whole indoctrinating people's mind and to try to make the whole world acceptable and bow down to like the European way of things, man. That's not it, man. So anyway, man, when it comes to Black History Month, man, I think many parents, single moms, single fathers, hopefully mom and dad in the household would take the time and educate and teach your children about black culture, African culture, you know, Alkebulan. You know, a lot of people don't know that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we need to get back to get back to the culture names of our people, you know what I mean? Things like that, you know, like both of my children, like, they don't have your average, you know, American name, you know what I mean? But anyway, guys, like I say, I just wanted to, I'll be back, man, you know, to talk a little bit more about it, you know what I mean? Hold tight. All right, guys, here we go, working on the Black History Project for my daughter's elementary school. And right now we are teaching the forgotten history of Alkebulan, that many of you know as Africa. And sweetheart, do you know the original name of Africa?
Yes.
What is it?
Alkebulan.
Alkebulan. And other names are Ethiopia and Kush. I want to say Ethiopia comes from Herodotus. He was Greek, and so it was land of the black faces, Ethiopia, and that's what they call Africa. But anyway, can you point to Queen Tia? Who is Queen Tia?
King Tut's grandmother.
That's King Tut's grandmother. Where's King Tut? Yeah, King Tut was the boy king. Yeah, the boy king, and the youngest king ever. So as y'all can see, we got some literature right here. If y'all want to pause it and read it. And Land of Cush. You may hear your Bible talk about the land of Cush. Right above the land of Cush is Kemet. What's the original name of Egypt?
Kemet.
Kemet, correct. Yep. Can you show me the Kemet cross? Yep. Here's the Kemet cross. It's called an Ankh. This is a symbol of life, a breath of life. It's not part of a cult or anything. And there's the young lady Nefertiti. I don't think they want to connect her to King Tut because she was married to Akhenaten, which is King Tut's father and the son of Queen Tia. But as you can see, look at Queen Tia. This is her bust right here. Those of y'all who don't know, the bust is basically a sculpture or a piece of art that shows from the shoulders up or the neck up. So it's now in the Colonizer Museum in Berlin, Germany. And a lot of our other rich, important art is in the British Museum. So the Colonizer now had a field day stealing from blacks. So I guess that means we're not all stupid or ignorant. I mean, if they stealing great artwork and want it for themselves. But anyway, just doing a part 2, and this ain't your average Black History project. So we're gonna bring some awareness of some forgotten Black history that need to be taught. So, like I said in the last video, fathers, mothers, be in your children's life. Make sure these institutions not programming them to become honorary European. Programming the minds of the children. Don't let them forget who they are, because if not, then they'll become anything. Whatever people want them to become. So, do you remember what you had to tell them? Because I was trying to help you to remember, because you didn't know how to remember the original name of Africa. Do you remember the original name? Oh, what is it?
It's
Alkebulan. I told you like Mulan, Alkebulan.
Yeah, I was trying to...
Oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So you remember, because I was trying to get you to use your syllables. You know what I mean? So, did you? What else you tell them about the project? That's interesting.
And I told them that King Tut is Queen Tia's grandmother.
Do what?
I told them that Queen Tia was King Tut's grandmother.
Oh yeah, grandmother. Okay, because you had just said it backwards. I thought you were saying King Tut was Queen Tia's grandmother. Nah, no. I mean, that's why I was asking you, because I think that's what you said the first time. But Queen Tia, yeah, that's King Tut. Yeah, she the grandmother of King Tut. So he's the grandson. And did you tell him anything about the Ankh?
Yes.
Oh, what'd you tell him about the Ankh?
It's the cross of life or breath of life.
Yeah, it's the Kemet cross that represents life, or the breath of life. And then what else you have on there? You had Africa on there, what people call Africa, because I don't think they knew the original name of Africa, because it was colonized. And the colonizers, like the Europeans, colonized Africa. So the white people tried to go over and take it over. And they changed a lot of things. Do you know the original name of Egypt?
Yes.
What is it?
Kemet.
Yeah, Kemet. Right. So that's why it's important that, I teach you these things so that you know, because the schools here in America, and that's what I was just telling the viewers, a lot of the schools here, they want us, they teach us about the Europeans, but they don't want to teach us about our own people. You know, and when they do try to teach us about our own people, they tend to leave things out, you know, and they don't want to like teach the real truth. Because if you teach the real truth, then you can possibly end racism by telling the truth. Because we're not an inferior people. Like, we're like the oldest people on this planet, you know. And like, my skin color is not, melanin is a Greek word, but I'm carbonated, and that's what gives me my dark complexion. And if you go around telling the truth about who are the originals and who the rest of the world learned from, then a lot of the colonizers, they're not going to be happy because they've been lied to for so long. So anyway, I'm glad you presented your project. You was the only one that had that got to talk about Africa, huh? I knew that was gonna happen. You're gonna be the only one talking about Africa for Black History Month. Well, that's good. Well, I'm proud of you. Now you got to keep learning. So good job.
Yeah, I told Miss Myers to watch the thing tonight because of my film.
Oh, really? Oh, awesome. Wow.